HQ, Kevin Durant has told the Suns that his preferred trade destinations are Miami, San Antonio, and Houston. That's according to ESPN. The 15-time All-Star has 1 year remaining on his current deal at just under $55 million. Now, once he's traded, Durant will be eligible to sign a new 2-year, $122 million extension on July 6th. For much more on this and the top landing spot for Kevin Durant, let's go ahead and say hello to John Gonzalez for more. John, great to see you. Let's go ahead and start here with just how good KD fits in with the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, from the Heat perspective, it would be a boon to get Kevin Durant, right? I mean, they're in the Eastern Conference. They move on from Jimmy Butler. What they have with that team right now, Tyler Hero, I like a lot. Bam Adebayo, I like a lot. The team I don't like as much, Jordan. But if you can flip somebody for Kevin Durant, all of a sudden in the Eastern Conference where it's super upside down, it's anybody's conference next year, especially with the Celtics not having Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown having surgery, and the Cavs, they got bounced out in the second round, and Darius Garland had surgery. And you could just go up and down the standings. The Heat could have a chance there. Now, the question is, what do you have to give in order to get KD? Is it some sort of combination of Andrew Wiggins, Duncan Robinson, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez? I mean, they do have 3 tradable first-round picks. They have number 20 this year, the 2030 pick, and then the 2032. Is that enough to get it done? This is a world, Jordan, where Desmond Bane just went for 4 first-round picks and a pick swap. So is that enough for Kevin Durant? I'm not sure, but from the Miami Heat perspective, yes, of course, you would love Kevin Durant. He'd be a perfect fit.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, another preferred destination by KD was San Antonio. Does this make sense to you, though?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different timeline. From Kevin Durant's perspective, I do like it because if you compare him with Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox, now all of a sudden you're cooking with gas, right? But the question is, De'Aaron Fox obviously younger, Kevin Durant's 37, and then Wemby is super young, but also he's got the blood clot issue. So are you on the same timeline? If Wemby is back in time, sure, yeah, now all of a sudden you're instant contenders in the West, even in a loaded Western Conference. But what would the Spurs have to give up? Again, there were reports that they're not willing to surrender number 2 overall, which is projected to be Dylan Harper, and that they're not willing to surrender this year's Rookie of the Year in Stephon Castle. Well, okay, what are you willing to give up? I know that Kevin Durant is 37 and he's got 1 year left on his deal at $54 million and change. That's a pretty hefty price tag for somebody that late on in his career. But he is Kevin Durant. You have to give up something to get something, and I just don't know that Devin Vassell and Harrison Barnes are going to get it done.
Looking at the Rockets here as another potential destination for Kevin Durant, does this sit well with you?
Well, if I'm Kevin Durant, of these 3, this is the one I'd like the most because the Rockets are so close, Jordan. They're ready to take that next step. The Rockets finished with the number 2 seed overall. They're one of the best defenses in the NBA. They are loaded. They have oodles of young, talented players. Alperen Şengün, Amin Thompson, who I'm a huge fan of, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith. You go up and down the roster. They are loaded. Plus, on top of that, from the Suns' perspective, the Rockets control a big portion of the Suns draft moving forward. They have that 2027 first-round pick and the 2029. If you're the Suns and you have some designs on maybe tanking moving forward, you want those picks back. You want to control your own draft. Now, if I'm the Rockets, I don't think I'm going to do this because at 37 years old, Kevin Durant, as talented as he is, and even though he might level you up and make you an instant contender, even though you already were a contender, but really take you to that next level, I don't know that I'm going to do it because this team, as currently constituted, is young, talented, and it's sort of like a lighter, poor man's version of what Oklahoma City built, right? They built through their own organization. They stockpiled draft picks, and they didn't take any big swings because they didn't have to. Now, we'll see whether or not that ends up with them winning the NBA Finals this year, but they're 2 wins away, so that's a pretty good position to be in. If I'm the Rockets, Jordan, I want to kick the tires on this thing a little bit longer, at least another half season till the trade deadline before I make a move like this.
All right, so aside from these 3 then, what are some other good fits, in your opinion, John, for Kevin Durant?
Yeah, I'll give you 2 more.
Okay.
The Knicks, obviously, they made it to the Eastern Conference. Now, there was a report that they actually made an offer for Kevin Durant at the trade deadline. So if you do the math, read between the lines, that would mean that they'd have to unplug one of OG Anunoby or Mikal Bridges plus something else to make the salaries match up, or just Kevin Durant or Karl Anthony Towns for Kevin Durant. Now, Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker, they played together in college, and they've been rumored for a long time to want to play together professionally. The question is, after adding Karl Anthony Towns last year. Are you ready to move on from him? I doubt you're ready to move on from OG or Mikal Bridges, who you gave up 5 first-round draft picks for. So this one, even though I love it from Kevin Durant's perspective, you get to the Eastern Conference, you get to an Eastern Conference finalist, you get to play in New York at MSG, bright lights, big city. That would be fantastic for him. I have a hard time seeing how that one gets done. And then the other one here is the Wolves. And this is also complicated because the Wolves cap situation is dire. They're deep into that second apron. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. Naz Reid, who's very good, he has a player option at $15 million. I think he's worth more than that. I think he's going to opt out. That's going to make things a little topsy-turvy for them. I don't know which way they're going to go after that. And then Julius Randle, who started to play much better after the All-Star break, he also has a player option at $30.9 million. I think that's about the level where he should get paid, but does he opt in? Does he opt out and then re-sign at a lesser number for more years? And then what would they have to do to trade for Kevin Durant? Would it be something like Rudy Gobert and Dante DiVincenzo and maybe Rob Dillingham and some picks? I don't know if that gets it done, but it's an interesting landing spot because Anthony Edwards has long said that Kevin Durant, who he played with on the Olympic team, was his favorite player growing up. So teaming those two guys up might keep Anthony Edwards happy after 2 straight Western Conference finals and in disappointment and they don't get to the NBA finals.